Diffuse lymphatic tissues and lymph nodules are sites of the initial response against antigens, and this tissue is often referred to as mucosa-associated lymphatic tissue because it's common within the lamina propria of mucous membranes of the body. The lamina propria is supporting loose connective tissue immediately under an epithelium, which together are termed the mucosa. Here is the lamina propria of the colon or large intestine, and this is the epithelium with cells lining the lumen surface that are absorbing mostly water. The epithelium has also invaginated into the lamina propria to form crypts containing mostly goblet cells. These crypts are shown here cut in cross-section with elements of the lamina propria in between the profiles of the cut crypts, and over here cut longitudinally. What is our main focus here are the many lymphocytes present here in the lamina propria, characterised by their small dark nuclei. They're all on surveillance duty, seeking out antigens they have been trained to recognise. Having recognised an antigen, lymphocytes then travel to lymph nodes nearby and proliferate and differentiate before returning to the lamina propria as effector B and T lymphocytes. As well as this diffuse lymphatic tissue, there are lymphatic nodules which are aggregations of lymphocytes contained within a meshwork of reticular cells and reticular fibres. You can see one of these lymph nodules or lymph follicles here. They're very distinct, aren't they? But they're not encapsulated. We would call this a primary nodule, as it's just a collection of small lymphocytes. But most nodules are secondary nodules, and later I'll show you their distinctive features, including a pale-stained germinal centre and a darker stained mantle zone or corona, which is the outer ring of small lymphocytes surrounding the germinal centre. Secondary lymph nodules are common in the alimentary tract and can be found in specific locations. I'll describe a typical secondary lymph nodule in my next short lecture. Then I'll show you examples of these secondary lymph nodules in the palatine tonsil, here at the entrance to the upper respiratory tract and the gastrointestinal tract, and lingual tonsils on the posterior region of the tongue. I will show you the mucosa of part of the small intestine, more specifically the ileum, indicated here in light green, where the secondary lymph nodules are called Peyer's patches. And if I remove the ileum, it will indicate to you the vermiform appendix arising from the cecum. And I'll show you masses of lymphoid tissue dominating both the mucosa and the submucosa of the appendix.